the coolest part of the start was me out in front of everyone with the American flag, and I could hear everyone's steps. It was almost like a cadence, like a military cadence. And hearing that, it was quiet, you could hear the birds, like this is right when we started. You know, it's very humbling to have that many people out there and just hear the footsteps of people that took time out of their day to come out and support that cause. My name is Matthew Johnson. I'm 28 years old. I grew up in small town Iowa, middle of nowhere, in the cornfield and gravel roads. I graduated high school, decided not to go to college, and joined the military. I was in the military for 9 years, 4 years of that active duty. Made the decision that I wanted a little bit more and moved to Austin, Texas to pursue coaching, and ended up becoming I don't know, am I a pro athlete? Am I a pro athlete? Ended up becoming a pro athlete slash content creator slash influencer slash coach. And now I get to run and make videos as a full-time job. Fly. 30 piece, getting ready to go down. It's beautiful, and our link will go live right now. Here we go. Josh, make sure my I got the music on there, baby. Bang. Live. Simple and easy, baby. Let's go. Yesterday we did what was my third annual American Flag Ultra, which I started in 2022 to raise money for a local veterans charity. The first charity was Wounded Heroes, based out of Ankeny, Iowa, back where I lived at the time. And I did it again last year in 2023 for Valor Fit, and then we did it yesterday here in Avalon, New Jersey, to launch the official fundraiser for the Run Across Texas, once again for Valor Fit.
All right, that's good.
This year, you know, it was tough for me because every year that I've ran on the 4th of July with the American flag, I always ran back home in Iowa. And then now, obviously, as life has changed and, you know, being with Amanda and, you know, having a home now in Austin and really pulling away from Iowa, I was kind of upset that I wasn't going to be able to go back and, you know, continue the roots of doing that. One of my really good friends, Brett Ender, hit me up and said that he was in New Jersey and that he wanted to run 30 miles for his 30th birthday. It prompted an idea in my head of, hey, I'm not going to be there for your 30th birthday, but what if we did 30 with the American flag on the 4th of July? That way I can do the 30 with him, but also at the same time, I can continue the tradition of, you know, running an ultra with the American flag for the 3rd straight year. And then at the same time, what a better way to launch the Run Across Texas fundraiser that we're 3 months out from than on the 4th of July. It was definitely a God thing where everything came in together and made this, everything was in alignment. And so we went out yesterday, ran 30 with the flag, and it was wild. Once we began to exit the island and head over the bridge, there was just 3 of us. Getting over the first bridge and getting onto that major highway was like when I knew right away. I was like, oh, like people, like, you know, it was like 10 a.m. like people are waking up because we ran 2 miles on that highway, and it was constant honks, beeps, cheers, people hanging out sunroofs, USA, USA. And I remember I looked over at Brett and I'm like, oh, I was like, the island is awake now. I'm like, now it's gonna get good. Yeah, so we rolled into Wawa. The biggest part of the entire run was, honestly, like I was worried about Brett. You know, like with the mileage, like I've done 30 so many times, but I knew that we had to stop. I knew we had to stop a couple more times, make sure that Brett was fueling up, because this was a big run for him. So we stopped at Wawa, and did a little bit of fuel there. That's where I had what was that, mile 8? It was about, I think Wawa was mile 8, and I had a half a Coke. I was so excited to get down the boardwalk because I hadn't been there yet and I didn't know what was there, you know, and I just knew that it was this long boardwalk, and in my head, like I'm picturing, you know, carnival games and all of this. And we get on this boardwalk and I didn't realize like the boards are like a dark red. The sun at the beach is so different than in Texas, and I didn't realize that. But it was so hot that like it was reflecting off of the boardwalk, and after about 20 minutes I looked at Brett and I'm like, dude, I was like, we are literally like, we are in a frying pan, like this is cooking us. So we make it past the boardwalk, and then pull off, you know, go about 2 blocks, and then we hit 15, which is our turnaround point. I might call this a Coke Ultra because I think I might just do Coke the entire time. This Coke. It is Jersey.
Feeling it today.
You never know what type of Coke you're gonna come into contact. You know what I'm saying? Calorie count for me is 240 in a bottle of Coke.
Wow.
1 Zen. Yeah, and then our 3-minute rest is right there.
Perfect.
We're crushing. And I just remember standing there and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to go back over that boardwalk again. This is gonna be brutal. By that point, Brett had gel after Rice Krispie, 5 bottles of water. It's just hammering everything, and I am 1 Coca-Cola bottle deep. $4. That's it? Yeah. Right, how about 10? Sure. Yeah, you get the tip? Yeah, thank you. All 3 of you get the tip? Yeah. All right, I'll give you 19. Hey, $5 per person. There you go. Thank you. Oh, man.
This is the best thing I've ever had. That's the best thing I've ever had.
Bro,
so much better than a plastic bottle.
It is heating up. At that point, you peeled off, and then we had to get back on the seawall, and I knew that like it was about to be the hardest part. Like I knew that like going back over those bridges and in the marsh, I knew that was about to be like the hottest part of the entire day. So then we go over the bridge, and we make it over the first bridge. Everything's fine. And then we get down in like probably the lowest, like one of the lowest points on the island, right? I mean, because we're like even with all the water. And we're getting ready to go up the bridge, and something lands like on my neck, and I feel it, and it bit me. And I'm like, ouch, and I slam my neck, and I can like, you know, you slam a bug and it's just huge. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what was that? And then Brett at that point, literally at the same exact time, Brett goes, ow, and he like smacks his side, and I look over, and his entire back is covered with these black bugs that are probably a little bit bigger than a dime. And he has probably 12 of them just all over his back. And they're horse flies, I guess, we found out. I'm like taking the flag and I'm like swiping the flag around. I'm like smacking Brett's back. He's like smacking the back of my neck because they're landing on me and they're biting us. So we're sprinting to like try to get to this bridge. And finally, as we're getting up over the bridge, we get like out of the horseflies, but we got bit so many times, and it was the most like, it felt worse than a bee sting. Like, I mean, it was like someone was like quickly like poking you with a nail. So I remembered later on that in David Goggins' book, he talks about a 4th of July run in Avalon where he's getting eaten by horseflies. Wawa, mile 26. I need a Coke and a Zen. Let's go. Sorry, brother. All right. Coke, Red Bull. Now we just need Zen. What's up, brother?
Doing?
Good. Can I get go Zen?
Yeah.
Can I get you have citrus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get citrus Zen 6, please?
Yeah.
Just everything was kind of falling apart at this point. And I don't really understand why, but like Brett was rapidly deteriorating and overheating, and he's standing outside like bent over this post. He can't even go inside. And Dana's like pouring water on him. We're like going in for everybody to get everyone something so we can get out, because at that point I don't think we wanted to stop, but like we needed to stop for some people that were running with us. And we're like 3 miles away from the finish. And so I'm like, guys, this is the last time we're stopping. I'm like, let's go back to Avalon. You always gotta rip it, ready? The cool thing about Avalon and Stone Harbor is that there's like a 2-mile section between Avalon and Stone Harbor. So Avalon is north, Stone Harbor is south. We're coming south to north. So we're leaving Stone Harbor and you can see the water tower in Avalon. So I'm telling everyone, I'm like, hey, like that water tower is 1 mile from the finish. We're a mile from the water tower. And so we're in this like, no man's land section of, just the island and houses. And as we get closer to the water tower, we're pulling into the town. And from doing this years past, like I always know at the end, like it's always very important to me that, we look good and we feel good as we're coming in to finish. And so we stopped 1 mile out. We stopped at the water tower right before we came into town. Everyone was hurting. People were cramping. Like yesterday was hot. It was humid, it was abnormal. We're just trying to get back to Avalon. And we stopped at 1 mile and kind of gave everyone a chance to, hey, we're about to go back into town. There's going to be a lot of people. We're not walking. We're not slowing down. Like we're going to carry this flag. I looked at Brett and I told Brett, I said, every step this next mile is for everything that this flag stands for. Comes down to running with the American flag, I think it's very much a reminder of the fact that we have so much access in this world today, in our country today, for any type of information to spread, whether that's misinformation, whether that's real information. We have access to it in real time at all times. And I think because of that, a lot of people truly forget what that flag stands for. And the fact of on July 4th, 25-year-old men who are younger than us signed the Declaration of Independence and knew that they were getting ready to go to war because of what they believed in this country. Outside of all the bull, outside of the politics, outside of the Democrat, Republican, and liberal and left and right, like none of that matters. I don't care about anyone's views on that at all. It's the fact of like what this flag stands for, and look how far we've come to have the capability to argue over dumb. And that's what I told Brett when I was texting him last week after we watched the first presidential debate. I said, just wait until you run with this flag and you see what this country actually looks like. Because everything that they say about this country being divided, about this country not being the greatest country in the world, about people hating each other, I'm like, one single run with this flag will change your entire view on what's actually happening in this country. We have the freedom to argue with each other. We have the freedom to hate each other. We have the freedom to do whatever we want. And I think that people get so caught up in the fact of, this is my opinion and this is my opinion and you're right and you're wrong, that you forget that there are people that would be killed in other countries for running with a flag. So to me, the flag symbolizes so much more. No matter what your beliefs are, no matter what your views are, it's just it's a symbol of, we are way more united, I think, than what we are told we are. And you carry the flag and you'll find that out.
There we go. Let's go.
I didn't do anything in the military. I didn't. That's the truth. I mean, I joined the National Guard because I was too nervous to go active duty right off the bat. I was a 19-year-old kid. And I come back and I drilled 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer. Long story short here, like, I never deployed, right? But I was always ready. And I was always physically fit, I was always mentally fit, and I was always willing and ready to do what I needed to do for my country. And now that I'm out, I have this feeling, I battle this feeling of I never got the chance to do anything for my country. Was I always ready? Yes. Is that respectable to everyone? Absolutely. But I never got the chance to do what I actually signed up to do. And that was to, defend my country at all costs. And so for me, now that I'm out, it's like, how can I honor those that were able to do that? How can I honor those veterans that were able to deploy and that are f***ed up because of it? Mentally, physically, emotionally. How can I now use my platform and use my status as a veteran to help them? Because they did get the chance to deploy. They did go do what they needed to do. And everything happens for a reason, right? Maybe I wasn't supposed to, I wasn't supposed to deploy. I wasn't supposed to go overseas. Maybe this is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to have that time in service to have the loving heart afterwards to take care of those who were able to actually do what they signed up to do. And for me, it's like, I'm just a pawn in the game. Like, I'm just the guy that's running. I mean, I have the easiest job of anybody. All I have to do is just wake up, put my shoes on, and go run the miles.